Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast Take 2. Messed up the first intro, but that's all good. Josh, you're going to have to repeat what you just said there about your training camp, because I know you were sparring this afternoon and stuff like that, so you're well into training camp now. You're weeks away from the Ramirez fight. How's the training camp going? How are you feeling?
Aye, training camp's going. We're flying in camp, just sparred a good 10 rounds the other night and at a good hard pace, and I'm feeling good. The speed, the timing, the power, everything's coming into play now. We're ahead of schedule, so we're flying. We're happy where we're at, and just keen to get over there and just get away from here. Everywhere's shut and crap, can't do anything. So we're looking forward to getting over there. It's a little bit more relaxed and be able to do things other than just going to the house and the gym, the house and the gym, house and gym. At least there's going to be some things open over there and be able to switch off a little bit. So we're looking forward to getting some sunshine and a little bit of heat.
That's it. The sunshine, man, that perks everyone up, and especially you can't go wrong with Vegas, Josh, and stuff like that. So when are you hoping to go out there? Obviously, you want to get out there and acclimatise. You mentioned the heat, but the time zone and stuff like that. So I imagine you want to get that out there very sharp.
Aye, we'll be over there in the next couple of weeks. We're here for another 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks just about. So we're going to be over there just about 4.5, 5 weeks over out there. So we've got plenty of time to acclimatise, get used to the time difference in the heat and the food and stuff. So we're going over there nice and early.
Yeah, good stuff. I noticed that one of the main reasons is why I wanted to get you on this chat is because I've seen that you've signed a deal with Everlast now. Everlast has made a pledge to sign 52 fighters. We've seen that last week they signed Tasha Jonas and Chantel Cameron, who you know very well, an ex-gym mate of yours, and then Sandy Ryan as well, GP squad. And I've also yourself in there. But you've always worn the Everlast gloves, haven't you? Just talk to me about Everlast and the deal and stuff like that itself.
Aye, I've always worn Everlast for the last 2 or 3 years, near enough. I discovered, actually I wore MXs on my debut in Texas. And I remember thinking, Jesus Christ, what are these on my hands? These little bombs on my hands. They were brilliant. I went out and stopped the guy in my first fight. And, I felt they were amazing. And then I discovered them again. I was using other gloves beforehand, like Grants and stuff, which were good gloves as well. But I started using more Everlast stuff in my fights, and I started noticing a difference in my performances and the effect that I was having on my opponents when I was hitting them and stuff. So they just suited my hands as well. I've got small hands as well, so the MX gloves and the Everlast, the way the cup and the cuffing they suit my little small hands. So yeah, they're the best gloves in the business. So I've been using them for a number of years now, and the Everlast have got all the best gear in the game now. The oldest and biggest brand in boxing. The punch bags are great and everything. So I've kitted my home gym out with Everlast gear and that as well. So yeah, I'm happy, and I'm delighted that they're on board with me for this fight and going to be sort of continuing to support me for the rest of my career.
So what you're saying, Josh, is Everlast gloves turn them little hands into bombs for you?
That's it. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's they turn the little bombs, little powerhouses. So the Everlast gloves are my favourite. So Ramirez is going to be tasting some pain on 22nd.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I mean, you spoke about over and over again. You're probably sick and tired and stuff like that. But I seem to when you're on your Instagram, I've noticed that you're putting a lot of pictures of different forms of training. You're doing like the nutrition side, the sports science. It looks like you're doing now with Ben and everyone down there in Essex. So just talk to me a little bit about that. What are you taking this training camp a little bit more serious in the past training camps in terms of the sports science side of things, the nutritional side of things, and stuff like that?
No, I've just got a team of people around me to help me do other things, Andy. Now, whereas before I was doing it all myself, the nutrition and everything, the physios, this, that, everything I was doing it all by myself. It was just I was getting no help, and doing the weight cut, nutrition, the weight, all that sort of stuff. I was doing everything myself, the cooking and all that sort of stuff. I've now got a team of people around me. I've got a physio on hand. I've got video analysis guy I've got on hand, I've got S&C guy on hand, I've got a physio, I've already said that, you know, and I've also got a nutritionist on board now as well, who's here with me, living with me, cooking and making sure I'm doing everything and putting everything, all the right things in my body at the right time, you know. And so I'm performing so much better in the gym because I'm fueling my body right, and I'm just making sure no stone's left unturned, you know. I'm just making sure I'm doing everything in my power that I can control, to the best of my ability, making sure I'm doing it all and preparing to the best of my ability. So everything that I can control. So the only thing I can control is what Ramirez is going to do. But I'm more than ready for whatever he's going to bring. And I'm just concentrating on myself and what I'm going to do and working on and making sure I'm the best version of myself come May 22nd. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm a lot happier for it. You know, I've got a whole team of people around me now that are all got one goal, and that's me winning. And it's I'm just happy and relaxed. So I am happy. I couldn't be any happier.
You definitely seem happy. You definitely seem more relaxed, Josh. But like when you envisioned headlining in Vegas, becoming undisputed, I'm guessing you envisioned 10,000 Tartan Army soldiers coming over with you. But obviously, you're lucky if it would just be me there. The only joke with you, maybe Lee McGregor and else. But what's your thoughts on that? Do you hold some disappointment and are you frustrated that you're not going to, well, you might get it in the future, obviously, but right now, for your undisputed fight against Ramirez, are you disappointed that you can't bring the Tartan Army with you?
Aye, listen, it's a wee bit of a kick in the bollocks. You know, you dream of these fights. You only dream of these fights, and it only happens to a select few, especially from our side of the pond. Yeah. You know, it only happens to a very few, select few. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough and lucky enough to land one of these mega fights in Vegas. You know, I've always dreamed of fighting in Vegas. When I went over with Carl, you know, I visioned myself and see my name up in the bright lights on the MGM Grand, and taking over a travelling support, you know, Tartan Army, all British fans and that as well, fans from Ireland, England, you know, all over the place, coming over. And, you know, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth that I've dreamt of these kind of fights for so long, and then that kind of element of it gets ripped away. It's a bit of a gutter, you know, because when I was over there with Carl, you know, after the fights, you know, he spent time with his fans the day after the fights, and, you know, and spent time and got to meet his fans, and just made the trip so much more memorable and more special for people. And, you know, the fans is what make your career as well, you know, because they give you so much support, and they spend their hard-earned money and going to your fights and watching you and supporting you. And the least you can do is, well, certainly in my book, is spend a bit of time with them and sort of have a drink with them after the fight and say thanks for coming and I really appreciate your support. You know, that it just makes the trip so much more special and memorable. So it is a little bit of a kick in the teeth. But having said that, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to let that affect my performance. You know, it's there's going to be a fan. I enjoy fighting in front of big fan crowd anyway. You know, a big crowd anyway. So regardless, there's going to be noise there and fans there. And I've already had a few messages from people in America, Scottish Americans, that they're going to be trying to make the trip to America, to Vegas, and down from wherever they're living in New York and stuff, and LA. They're going to be making the trip down. So I'll have a little bit of support, hopefully. And yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's good, mate. But another thing that I'm going to ask you is, there's going to be something different this time around as well. I mean, you'll walk out first, maybe. I don't know if that'll affect you. You're going to be waiting for Ramirez to enter the ring, and then on the other side is that you'll have a crowd that.
Well, listen, it should be me walking out second. I'm ranked number one. You know, surely I'm.
Well, I'm
the IBF, WBA, and the Ring Magazine champ.
Yeah.
You know, so surely I'm number one. Surely I should be walking out second. But do you know what? Who gives a fuck? Who cares? We're going to fight. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he comes to the ring second or first. Yeah. We're going to get on as soon as that bell rings, and we're going to fight. So it doesn't matter. But really, it should be Taylor Ramirez on the posters, and really it should be me walking out second. But I don't really give a fuck. It's okay. It's fine. He's going to lose his belts and titles anyway. So I'm not really bothered.
What about the fine? I mean, like you've been in the hydro. I've been in the hydro with you numerous occasions and stuff like that, all over Scotland, Meadowbank, Barhead, and London and stuff like that as well. But you've always had that crowd on your side. This time it's going to be 7,000 probably Mexican Americans, Mexicans that aren't going to be on your side. I mean, you've been there before in the amateurs and stuff like that, but this is a different kettle.
Fuel to the fire, Andy.
Yep.
Fuel to the fire. That's all it is. It doesn't bother me. I am more than happy just to fight in front of a crowd. I love fighting in front of big crowds, period. I've been to crowds as an amateur in the GB boxing, I boxed against Tom Stocker in Liverpool in the GBs on BBC One, fully 10,000 Liverpudlians, and I went out there and it used me. I used that fuel and add to my fire, so it doesn't bother me. They'll soon be making noise and they'll boo me in, but they'll cheer me out. I guarantee you that.
Well, you know that with Mexican fans, man, they're probably one of the best in the world, and they love a good fighter when they see a good fighter. Now, you mentioned Carl Frampton there, and I'm glad you did, because we seen last weekend he came up short to become Island of Islands D-weight world champion. Now, you know Carl very, very well. You're good friends with Carl. Just describe Carl to me the way you see Carl, and obviously the career that he's had.
Carl is an absolute gentleman. To me, he's a good friend. I still keep in contact with him. I contacted him straight after his fight, to say that I was gutted for him and, to go and enjoy his family now, because I can remember talking to him years ago and he was saying he spends a lot of time away from his kids and missing his two young kids growing up and, missing things like their first steps, their first words and all that kind of stuff. Really important stuff that you don't want to be missing. So he sacrificed a whole lot. So it's now time for him to go and make up for the precious lost time and go and enjoy his kids and his family. And he was a real, and still is, a massive inspiration to me, especially the first part of my career. When I was in the same camp as him, he was training there. He was at the top of his game, and I'd done my debut in Texas when he fought Gonzalez, and then the two undercards was Santa Cruz. I was just so lucky to be a part of that part of his journey and watching him and learning from him and taking so much inspiration and motivation from him. He was, and on top of that, a great guy, a great friend, lovely sense of humour. What a quality sense of humour he's got, and a great laugh. Just an all-round gem of a bloke. So I just wish him all the best in retirement, and he goes and spends some quality time with Christine and the kids. He's a good friend, and it was real hard for me to watch that. Especially I was working on it on the Channel 5 thing, so it was hard for me to watch it and still kind of commentate after the fight and my thoughts on the fight. It was hard for me to watch and see, because I know how much he wanted to win that fight and to become Ireland's first 3-weight world champion. And he dared to be great, and I admire that about him. I absolutely admire that about him. He dared to be great, and I've got nothing but admiration for him and respect.
Definitely, man. I echo that. Every time I've met Carl, he's been nothing but a gentleman to me as well. So I totally echo that sentiment with Carl. But for you, I mean, talking about kids and stuff, I seen that you put on your Instagram and your Twitter that you were talking to young kids from your old school, Preston Lodge, in the Pans.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about inspiring these young kids and what that means to you from where you're from.
Yeah, that was good. It was a good little chat. I spent like an hour and a half, almost a couple of hours on the phone on the FaceTime to some kids from the school. Young ambassadors from the school. A young girl was very good at football, and the sort of sports director of the schools getting young kids into doing sporting activities. I spoke to a couple of lads that were into football and also into boxing. Spoken to them about how they're doing in football and how they're doing at school and what they want to do when they're older. And then I spoke to a young lad also from Preston Pans, young Aidan Hogg, who's got cancer at the minute. He's battling cancer, so he was in the hospital, and I was on FaceTime to him for a good hour just talking nonsense and having a laugh with him. And it was good to put a smile on his face for a little while and cheer him up. He was in the hospital by himself at that point, so his parents weren't there at the time. So it was really quite tough for me to do, but it was good to see him. He made the conversation and made the chats and really cheered up, and it was good to put a smile on his face for a little while. And I've said to him, when I get back, I'm going to, if I'm allowed to get into the hospital, go in and see him, and you know, and taking a couple of signed merchandise stuff for him, and just spend a bit of time with him and cheer him up and have a good laugh with him.
Josh, that's amazing, mate. And to see from where you came from at the start to where you are now and giving back to the next generation, these young kids, is amazing stuff, mate. But I won't keep you much longer because it is getting on 25 to 10. No doubt you'll be up early for training and stuff like that. But Josh, this will be the last time I see you before Vegas. So I'll probably see you in Vegas. I mean, if I see you before, that's a bonus. But until then, champ, I'll see you in Vegas. I'll probably obviously see you, text you and speak to you on Instagram and whatnot. But man, Vegas ain't far away, champ. So let's do it.
No, it's not too far away. We'll soon be up there and enjoying the heat, getting a good tan, enjoying the heat.
That's amazing.
Put on a good performance and then enjoy a couple of days in Vegas with all the belts, baby.
That's it, Josh. Listen, my man, I appreciate your time as always. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like I say, good luck in camp. Enjoy camp, injury free, and I'll see you in Vegas, champ.
Nice one, Andy. Cheers, my man.
Cheers, Josh.